everyone, welcome to HGTV Handmade with me, Meg and Marianne. I'm so stoked. I have the pleasure of visiting Marianne. We're in her home. We were chit-chatting the other day on the phone how, we know a bunch of crafty skills, but we always want to learn more things. Mm-hmm. And what did you want to learn?
My weakness is definitely sewing. I've had that sewing machine 6 years.
Poor old girl.
Never been used.
Never been touched.
Completely terrified of that sewing machine.
So today we're facing that fear. We're gonna do a little sewing 101, give you just a couple of basic tips, help you get started. And then the reward will be lounging in a caftan, fanning yourself with a palm, sitting next to me, drinking a mocktail or cocktail.
Okay.
If you also would like this reality, here's what you're gonna need. 2 long scarves, a sewing machine, pair of scissors, some thread, a bobbin, straight pins, and a cutting mat. So we have our 2 scarves. We went with matching scarves. You can kind of work with any length. What we want is a full length caftan. We're gonna fold over the top so that the bottom is the length we want, kind of just touching the bottom of our ankles. And once we have it like this, we're going to lay it. We want the nice side facing the table. Okay, so now that it's all flat, we take our straight pins and we are just pinning down what we folded. So we're pinning down there and then also up the sides.
Okay.
So now that we have this guy pinned, we're gonna do the same to the other one. Ooh. So we're using the one we already pinned as our guide. Yes, excellent. It's a great beginner project because if you make a mistake, it's not glaringly obvious.
Okay, is it sewing time?
Yes, it's totally sewing time. The most important thing really is threading your machine. So you take a bobbin, and you put it down here. You take the end of the thread, and there's usually a little divot that it has to sort of catch in. And then you put the top back on, like that.
Bobbin.
And now we're gonna add the top thread. Each one is different, but the top thread usually follows this general direction. So between this and your manual, you should be good out there. So you come over here, you just tack on that guy. Usually goes down this loop, up again, and then there's this little silver guy, and in Marianne's, it's kind of embedded in there. So I'm just gonna put it on the back.
Oh, it's like a...
And then it catches, yes.
Okay.
And then we just push it through the needle. Once you go through there, pull it so that it's loosely taut, and then give one so that it pulls the bobbin up. So now we have a threaded sewing machine. So now that we have our scarf folded and pinned, we're going to put it under the presser foot. In order to secure this, we're going to just do a straight stitch going in the correct direction first. And then we're gonna stop.
And are you pushing with your foot or with this?
Yes, in order to get it moving, I push with the pedal on my foot.
Okay.
And then now we're gonna have it go back to just secure it. And then if we could just go straight one more time, that guy should be all secure.
And how hard are you pressing with your foot?
So at first, especially since it's a new sewing machine to me, I'm going kind of soft at first to just get the feel. But then once I kind of get a little confident, then I can kind of push down a little bit more and go a little quicker. Now with this scarf, it's telling us exactly where the seam allowance can be because it has this great little tassel guy. But if you don't have a little tassel guy, you'll want to give yourself a 1/4 of an inch or a 1/2 of an inch of a seam allowance.
Okay, and so we pull out the pins as you come to them? Okay, so you always make sure that the needle is down when you're
Yes, if I'm gonna move the fabric, I don't wanna lose that stitch. So I keep that needle down, lift the presser foot up, move the fabric.
Okay.
Exactly. And so you wanna also just check once you're sewing. You wanna just always be kind of just checking in and looking at your stitches, and they look great, but just check, make sure everything is...
the tension.
Exactly.
See, I'm learning.
See, you get the lingo down now.
And so going back and forth, that's a knot if you were hand sewing.
Exactly. It's how you would tack down a hand,
Okay.
So, yeah.
Looky there. Okay, so now we do the other one?
Yep, now we do the other one. Look at that. Look, you're just easing in. We're just easing in.
It's better. Okay,
just
yeah.
Easing in.
I can do that.
Yeah, you got it. So now we're taking our scarf and we're placing it good side up, placing that guy down. And then our second one, we're gonna do good side down so that the good sides of the fabric are together. They're sandwiched together.
Okay.
And we're going to pin 10 inches in on either side, leaving a 14-inch head hole. If your head is larger, we discovered that ours are small apparently. You can create a larger hole if you need to for your head, but this works for us. So now we're gonna sew this bad boy. So we have our top part done. So we're gonna pull this out, cut off the excess. And so we have our basic caftan shape. You can make a smaller neck hole if you want. You can then maybe hold up your arm, and then we'll look here and see, you can see exactly where you want, how big you want your armholes. While you're holding it like that, I'll add a pin. That's great, and then we'll just do the same length on the other side.
Okay. So this one, we are not sewing inside out.
Exactly.
Right, okay.
Because the sides have this nice pom-pom trim, and they're just gonna be flat anyway. So now once we have like our anchor point, you want to continue pinning all the way down till we get to the bottom.
And are we sewing all the way, or are you leaving like vents to be able to?
I like that. I was at first gonna sew all the way, but you're right. I think
Like
a
to be able to
caftan needs,
walk and
yes,
to have it.
yes, girl. So you guys see what we're doing here? What we did is, with this being the neck, we left about a 19-inch hole where our arms will go through. Then we're going to sew this middle part, and then we left a 15-inch vent, as Marianne called it, which I like, so that you can kind of walk with the caftan free flowing around you. If you have a trim on the side like this, you're gonna lift up your presser foot and shove it under there.
Okay.
And then put the presser foot down as close to the trim as possible. She's sewing. A little less scary now?
Slightly.
Awesome. And then you'll do the same on the other side. All the places where you start and end your stitches, you'll have this extra thread, so you'll just wanna snip it off. Voila. I'm gonna quickly just whip one up for myself, and then
because that's how good she is.
I can just whip one
She
up.
can just whip up a caftan.
Whip up a caftan.
No big deal.
Cut to us lounging for the rest of the summer in our flowy, ethereal, beautiful dresses. So,
I feel like 70% less terrified.
do you? Oh,
Yeah.
I'm so pleased. I was hoping for just 50, so 70 is like above and beyond.
Shoot for the stars.
I'm really pleased. Well, thank you for joining us. We'll see you when we're sitting outside and lounging and relaxing, and maybe you can freshen our drinks. See you there.